one of the scenes that I really liked and popped out at me for reasons of really visual effects, since I love that stuff, is that the part with the dog.
Oh, and the eagle?
Yes. So that was done, of course, on blue screen. Neither one of the animals were done in the same location. So the eagle was filmed on a blue screen separate from Sandra Bullock and the dog. And then when it's carrying the dog, it's actually a plushie. So it's a stuffed dog, not a real dog. And then when Sandra Bullock is actually holding the dog, they got someone to teach her how to properly hold it. Which is funny because when I saw her holding it, I'm like, for someone who doesn't know anything about dogs, she's actually holding that dog in a way that would not actually hurt the dog. That's pretty impressive. And then when I found out, like, oh no, the actress was trained how to do it so that she wouldn't hurt the dog, it was like really interesting and clever and stuff. So I just really like how, like, in visual, like, there's really, rom-coms are never visual effects. Like, the most you'll probably see is like the Bridgerton stuff, in which it's enhancing the set. So it's like set enhancements is usually the only visual effects stuff that you'll see in these rom-coms, more in the time periods than the modern ones like this one. So
Yeah,
it's
and the
like,
modern ones is mostly just like cleaning up with editing, like color correction, things like that. It's not like full like CG scenes.
no, yeah. So yeah, no, there's no visual effects. It's just basic post-production. Not saying that it's basic, it's just like the regular editing, like having an editor versus a VFX artist, which is hugely different. And so it was very interesting to see it. I will not lie though, the rotoscope does not hold up as well in our new quality, because I was like, oh, that had to have been rotoed somehow. Oh my god, that was on the screen, I know. But it definitely, for what it was definitely a cute little thing. Very sweet. I think they use enough of the live footage for you not to get too distracted with the little bit of mishaps that one would
Well,
have.
plus you're supposed to be laughing during this whole time and not like really paying attention
Analyzing
to
the
it. Yeah.
frame. Yeah.
So people aren't going to notice. But that does bring to light an issue that we just have as our technology keeps progressing, because this movie was only in 2009. That's not like a movie from like the 1950s and you're trying to watch it like on a 4K screen, and you can really see everything wrong with it. So just between like 2009 and now, with however you're watching it, if it's streaming, Blu-ray, and whatever type of resolution screen you have, it can really show the differences, especially with CGI having grown so much. People are so used to seeing, especially like in the superhero movies and so on. So when they see a little bit like this, and if you look closely enough, like what you were describing, they will see it doesn't look perfect. So that's just an issue we have with our technology advancing, and people need to give some slack to the older movies whenever they're watching something on a newer screen. It's like, don't be bashing it because you think it looks terrible. Like, no, it looked great for its time.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I first ever saw the proposal, I didn't even think like of the VFX aspect of it. It wasn't till like now that like I saw it, yeah, you're right, on like a nicer screen and stuff, that I was like, oh, that was visual effects. I mean, of course, because animal rights and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
like when I first saw it, like that never crossed my mind. I was just like, oh, it's a funny scene. Like, in fact, I thought like, oh wow, that's a really trained eagle. Like, so it was very interesting to see that they weren't in the same scene and how it was done. But you're right, I think at the time that it was done, because of the quality and stuff, not only is it less noticeable, but yeah, because there's like less pixels and stuff that cameras could take, that like, yeah, it could have looked seamless when it first came out. It could have been like gorgeous. But unfortunately, now that we're getting bigger and bigger resolutions, the little bit of cracks are unfortunately being seen. It is a clever scene because I do like the dynamic between Sandra Bullock and that dog. They were just not friends.
It's also a point in the plot for that scene. Like, it actually contributes to the plot, not just being like little funny moments when his mom and grandma's watching her out there with the dog thinking she's playing, and no, she's actually trying to serve the dog up to the eagle to get her phone back. And but the fact that she loses her phone and she's so attached to her phone and her position, like that's her lifeline. And so then for like 24 hours she doesn't have her phone,